Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome back. I feel like I've been gone for some time, but I really haven't. So today is going to be a kind of like sensitive one, not really sensitive one, but you get my gist. So today we're going to be talking about mental health. That's a big one. So this week, yeah, is it this week? Yeah, 18th to 24th is Mental Health Awareness Week. And I think mental health is something that is definitely important to talk about, and something that I don't feel like is spoken about in many churches. I think the common misconception is like, you know, that mental health may only accept certain people, may only affect certain people. That's what I've heard. I've heard that mental health can only affect certain people, that, you know, I've heard some people say that Christians can't be affected by mental health, and things like that. But I've come here to tell you that it is possible, child. Like, it is possible for a Christian to be affected by mental health. Something as small as you getting stressed. And one thing that I used to think was that, what was it? Trying to remember. Oh yeah, one thing that I used to think was that, mental health, you know, is like schizophrenia and things like that, like, you know, that like advanced and things like that. But no, listen, you can be stressed, and that is a form of, guys, I'm sitting outside because of scenery, but these flies are really bugging me. But anyway, it's mental health. And I think, speaking from personal experience, being younger, I struggled with depression, I struggled with self-harm, and like, I felt like I couldn't really open up to people simply because I feel like, you know, in the church, like, it was not addressed. Not even just my church personally, but other churches around me, and just the Christian community as a whole. So it became an embarrassment for me, like, oh my gosh, I'm depressed, oh my gosh, I'm self-harming. And there's only one friend that I had, God bless his soul, Dion, who literally was the only person that I spoke to about it. And at that time, it was like, I feel like if I spoke to other people, I would get judged. So yeah, that's one thing for me. Mental health can even be, you are stressed to the point that it is driving you mad. Guys, listen, it happens. That's what I went through last year. I was stressed. And another reason why you can get to that point is because you're just trying to take hold of your own life. As a believer, obviously, you have to put your whole trust in God, that he's going to lead you to where you need to be and to where you need to go. And even though you may have your own plan, bro, if God doesn't want it to happen, it's not going to happen. And that's literally it. So, you know, it's about leaving everything to God. And mental health is a big one that I feel like we shouldn't be afraid to tell somebody what you're going through and express it to them. Sometimes you may not even know how to say it. Like, it took me quite some time to tell my friend that, oh listen, I'm depressed, or oh listen, I'm struggling with self-harm. But listen, bro, you just, it's progress. But the first step is acknowledging that you're struggling, acknowledging that you may be getting suicidal thoughts, acknowledging that, you know, you just don't want to wake up in the morning. And I feel like when people think of, oh, someone that's depressed, it's like, oh, you know, they always have this sad down look on their face. No, because if that's the case, then somebody will be calling me depressed when I'm in a bad mood. Do you get what I mean? But it's something as simple as, I would go out of my house with a big smile on my face, and as soon as I come in, it's literally, the mask falls off. I would be crying a lot, and things like that. And sometimes it got to the point where I mastered it, that people didn't even realize. And they'll always be like, oh yeah, Shalom, like, oh, I need help with this, oh Shalom, I need help with this, oh da, da, da. And I'm just there like, bro, if only you knew what I was going through. But I feel like that's what built my strength growing up, knowing that I was struggling and that I could still help other people. And I feel like that's really important. But yeah, like, mental health is definitely something that should be spoken about. not just in the church but everywhere. A safe space should really be created for people to talk about it. Yeah, so I think my top tips are: don't feel embarrassed, don't feel like you're going to be judged. I know there's times where you've had bad experiences from opening up to somebody about your struggles mentally. I had that experience. I was told, you're a Christian, how can you be struggling with depression? How can you be struggling with suicidal thoughts? How can you be struggling with self-harm? So for me, from that day on, I literally shut off. I was like, I'm not going to tell anybody, because you're only going to come and tell me the same jazz that I'm a Christian, you know, I should be. But one thing that I came to realize when getting saved was, just because I'm saved and I'm a Christian doesn't mean I'm not going to struggle. It's about how I deal with that struggle. That's the most important thing. And once you realize that, it's so easy to get back up again. Because if you don't realize that, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a Christian and I'm struggling. What am I doing wrong? Am I not praying enough? Am I not reading my Bible enough? Am I not going to church enough? So you will start doing all of these things out of a place of, I need to get better. But sometimes, listen guys, I'm going to be so honest with you, sometimes you don't want to pray. Sometimes you don't want to hear somebody say, oh, but have you prayed? Or sometimes you don't want to hear somebody say, oh, you're not feeling okay, oh sis, you know, let's go to church. Or, oh sis, have you even read your Bible? When people say that to me, I'm just like, listen, in that state of mind that you're at mentally, that's the last thing you actually want to be hearing. So I feel like it's really important to have people around you that understand you, people that understand your struggles, people that can see when, I think that bird was just calling me, but people that can see when your mood is not okay. And I'm so thankful for the friends and family that God has given me, that they're literally able to detect it like that when I'm not okay. And it really helps, because sometimes in that time you don't want to, the thing is, you want somebody to ask you if you're okay so you can pour out your heart, but you're not in the place that you want to tell somebody. It's a very confusing state to be in, because it's like, at times as well, you don't want to feel like you're a burden to people. You don't want to feel like you're a burden to people, and that's another thing that can stop somebody from opening up. But once you take that first step to find that community and to find somebody that you can trust and open up to, I'm telling you, it's going to get so much easier from there. Because once you take that step, the devil has lost, I'm telling you. Because with mental health, is one thing that is so easy for the enemy to attack us Christians, because you can sit in your mind, what is that, oh my flowers, because you can sit in your mind for ages, day and night. Times that you're in your bed getting ready to go to sleep, times that you wake up in the morning, times that, you know, you're at home alone, the thoughts will just keep coming, like, oh, suicidal thoughts, oh, self-harm, oh, depression, oh, this and all that. Listen, it's bro, because it's a very hard thing to deal with. But I'm just letting anybody know who's watching this that you will get through it. Like, if I got through it, and if I'm still getting through it, because guys, just because I became saved, it doesn't mean I don't struggle mentally. It doesn't mean that I have bad days. It doesn't mean that I'm not in a mode of depression. It doesn't mean that. But once I've realized how to switch on my mind to say, like, sis, you need to get yourself out of this, and speaking words of affirmation to yourself, speaking words back to yourself, like, I'm great, I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, like, I don't struggle with this, I don't struggle with that, it will really help. It will really, 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 really help you. But honestly, guys, if there's anyone out there who's struggling and you need somebody to pray with, you need somebody to talk to, I'm honestly here. Just drop a comment below and I will reach out to you, because I know it's a struggle, and when you don't have the right people around you, it doesn't help as well. So I would say, you know, find a community, find people that you can trust. If you're a believer, people with a godly mindset, people who won't just say, oh, you know, just get over it. Somebody once said to me, oh, you'll be fine. I'm looking at them like, listen, do you know how much courage it's taken me to open my mouth and tell you this? I know you're gonna say to me, you'll be fine. And that's why, as hard as it is, keep close to God. As hard as, I'm not gonna lie, it is hard when you're struggling mentally. When I struggle mentally, when I was struggling mentally, the last thing on my mind was, oh yeah, God. I'll be very honest, that was the last thing on my mind, because I was like, listen, why am I struggling? Like, why am I battling with all these thoughts? And I know people say, oh yeah, once you've given your life to Christ, that's it. Once you pray every day, that's it. Once you do this, that's it. Somebody can pray and read their Bible and study their Bible every single day without fail, and the enemy knows your weakness, and he will find your weakness and he will find your weakest point, and he will get to you somehow. So that's why you need to make sure that you're on guard. On guard, on guard, on guard. That is all I can tell you guys. Be on guard. Like, do not let anything or anyone disrupt your safe space. Like, sometimes people don't realize that they tick you off. Sometimes they do it intentionally, sometimes they just do it without knowing. But if you feel like you're about to get ticked off, or if you feel like you're in a place struggling mentally and people just aren't understanding you, honestly, not everybody's going to understand, and I'll tell you that. Not everybody is going to understand what you are struggling with. So when you realize that you don't have to make them understand, like, God has got you. God has got you, my lovelies. So that is all for today, and I will see you in the next video. Signing out.